and welcome to the Solve Network. My name is Shane Borza, and I'll be your host. Along with my co-founder, Benjamin Goss, we'd like to welcome you. Our mission is to provide solutions and create a network of experts for you to learn from. Now, this show is a little different than most podcasts, as it is actually a live call held twice a month. If you can, please join us on the first and third Thursday of each month so you can get your questions answered live and direct from the experts themselves. If you're an expert, please contact me at shaneborza.com so you can be a part of the network. And now, here's our show.
Scene one, Apple, take one.
Hi, I'm Shane Borza, your content creator coach. I have 2 books on filmmaking, Film Notes, where you learn to write, direct, and produce, and the Film Notes Workbook, where you can learn checklists and paperwork to streamline creating your content. Available at shaneborza.com. I also have filmmaker resources like the Paperwork Bundle with over 300 documents, the Sound Effects Bundle with almost 3,000 files, and the Music Bundle featuring 900 tracks of all genres. Want to build your professional credits? Become an associate producer and get listed on IMDb. Let me help you get your art out into the world.
Scene one, Apple, take one.
Great, thank you, Craig. There was a lot of great points in there. I was taking notes throughout the whole thing. I think that your exercise and your questions were they seem simple, but I would just like to say for everyone, both on the call and listening later, that ironically, everyone on the call tonight is a coach. And I'm sure I speak for everyone in saying that the learning and the deep work that you do, a lot of which you spoke about tonight, of asking yourself these questions, trying to remove the blocks, finding out why they're there, what they represent, really does come, but only if you put the time in. So rather than just listen to this presentation and say like, oh, those are good questions, I would really encourage everyone to actually ask those questions, sit with them. And like you said, the 5 whys, for instance, really speaks to me. Every time you go down a layer, you discover so much more about yourself. So as I said, I'm going to type the notes up and we'll process the audio and send that out to everyone either tomorrow or the day after. I do have a few things that I was going to ask, but I'd like to open up for questions. Actually, I have James said he's having connectivity issues. He just wanted to say that he really appreciated the presentation. So I'll just say, James, if you have any questions, let me know and I can ask them for you. And if anyone else has any questions for Craig, please go ahead and ask them and I'll jump on at the end. So James said he really loves falling in love with your vision. Yes, I did too. And one of the things that I also wanted to thank you for saying, Craig, is I think a lot of people have been taught they need a mission statement, especially if they have a business or if they work for a company, they're probably used to the idea of, what's the mission of the company or the place that they work. But vision is also very important. And for those that don't know, a mission is more of what you're currently doing and a vision is where you want to be. So I really liked the way that you talked about that, and we're showing people how they can have a plan, like you said, a 5-year plan. It's something that's a long-term goal. And I think using a lot of these types of exercises and these questions is something that will enable people to do that work and set themselves up for success. So I just would like to ask, you had a lot in your presentation. If you're going to boil this down to, let's say, 1 do and 1 don't, what would you say are the most powerful do and don't that you would recommend to people?
Good question. Let me start with the do is that you have to have the courage to face your biggest fears. And we all have big fears, as confident as we seem, as confident as we appear to be. But the growth comes when you really do the work, the deep work, when you try to figure out what this is and how to overcome it and actually do something about it. So that's the do. The don't is that you don't play small. You don't settle in life. Be it your ideal relationship, be it how much money that you want to earn, generally, maybe annual, maybe monthly. You don't settle in how much wealth do you want. Do you want to live in another country? Do you want to have multiple passports? I know I sound outlandish, but you will never really know that deeply fulfills you unless you genuinely look at it. And if it doesn't fulfill you, that is fine as well. But it has to fulfill you, right? And until you satisfied in you really don't want something, or you really something doesn't appeal to you, you shouldn't settle. So that's what plagues most people, and that is one thing. If people stopped doing, they would be a lot more successful.
So to change focus a little bit from the things you talked about to the things you presented at the end, I noticed you have the link to your breakthrough session and also the Life Awakening System. Can you talk a little bit about what the Life Awakening System is?
Well, with the Life Awakening System, it's a program that teaches individuals how to become better people. It takes them from, first of all, it helps them recover from negative situations. The first part of the program, we have a very extensive self-evaluation process where we have a huge sequence of questions where we delve deep and really uncover a lot of past issues. Because many of us, when we take programs, when we attempt to really become more, to use a very general term, the reasons that we believe that we want those things are not always the actual reasons. And many programs don't work because those reasons why we deeply want it, they don't align with what we really get to. In other words, when it gets hard, we don't push through. And the reason why we don't push through is because we're not connected to why we deeply want it, if that makes sense. So the Life Awakening System helps someone recover from their past issues, any past emotional traumas, any lack of self-esteem issues, and then it presents a very specific and tailored action plan to really get to your next level. It incorporates a lot of mindset and psychology to reprogram your mind for success. And also, my breakthrough session is really if my talk speaks to you, and if you genuinely feel like you need help, and it's okay, we all do. I have coaches as well. I have people who coach me, okay? And I'm sure the coaches on this panel, they have people that they confide in, or they pay the coaching as well. And if that's you, let's talk about it. So for at least 30 minutes an hour sometimes, you really have the opportunity to let's have a chat and let's see if it makes sense potentially for us to work together. So that is what that is about.
Thanks for that. I always like to make sure that people know what the programs and the offers are from each speaker so that they can, reach out with any specific follow-up that they might have. So we're down to our last 10 minutes. We don't need to take the full time, but if anyone else has anything that they'd like to bring up, ask, or talk about, this is a good time because we still do have a few minutes. And while everyone's thinking, I'd just like to double check. Craige, did you have anything else that you'd like to let people know about or shine a light on? If you have anything coming up that you're doing, any other speaking or, podcasts, articles that you're writing, or any other place like social media or websites that you'd like people to go and find you?
Yeah. Well, basically, you could find me at my website, Craige.com. It's on the screen for those of you listening. And there I have a blog as well, where one article I would particularly recommend to expand on my talk is the list of excuses article. It's been shared close to 300-400 times. And really, it helps you examine yourself. And that is something I recommend all of us to do. It doesn't matter how much success we've had. Eventually, we come to a point where we really pull back. Even people who are very successful, and I'm sure that's where all the coaches come in that they're able to uniquely identify those blocks in you, and all of us have it, to actually get further. So essentially, it's my blog, my Facebook page is my name, Craige Hardel, and also you could find me on LinkedIn as well by my name. So these are the ways to reach me. As for things and events that are coming up, later this year, I'll be launching my podcast as well, and that is pretty tentative. And also looking to host our first virtual summit. So hopefully, those of you who listen, I would nicely reach out to Benjamin or Shane, and I will see you there. So generally, these are the ways that you can reach me, and really, it's what I'm really working on.
Thank you for that. So unfortunately, Ben just got a call, but he did have a question, so I'm going to ask it for him. He is curious, what is the largest mind shift that you've had in the past 5 years and why?
For me, that's a good question. I followed it. For me, mine was that where I'm from St. Lucia in the Caribbean. For those of you there, where I'm from is not a limiter of my success. Yes, there are geographical restrictions, and really they're going away by the year. But there is this internal block that I had personally, in that I'm not as deserving of success as someone probably in a first world country or from around the world. Now I coach people around the world very well. And really, that has been one of my biggest shifts. And the other one of really related to that is that no one's story is unique. We're unique as people, do not get me wrong. I'm not saying that you're not important. We're all unique biologically and how we form. However, many people around the world, many people who has lived, who has died, who has spent generations, has gone through what you have gone through. Has struggled with what you've struggled, and are struggling with it right now, and they've overcome it. So you have no excuse, or I have no excuse if you ask you like me, to not to be who I really want to be. And that in many ways is a large chunk of the message I really want to help. I help people break through because the block is mental. If it's not where you're located, it's who your family is. How much money that you get. Or maybe you had a failed business in the past and psychologically you just really stumped, right? And my biggest insight has come around that, you know how our teachers say that you could be what you want to be or you could be who you want to be. And some of them don't actually believe it, right? In this world of opportunity, in this world of helping people, in this world of really where things are so interconnected, anybody, I don't care how poor you are, for example, I don't care how disadvantaged you think you are. Look at Nick Vujicic's case. No arms, no legs, he still did it. Anybody can be successful. And for me, the true realization with countless examples, network, people have coached, people have helped, and really just me personally being followed. That has been my biggest, honestly, insight. It doesn't matter what you want. If you truly put in the time, put in the work, you find out how, and you really follow through, you will get there.
Thank you for that. And yes, you're so right. The theme, I would say, that runs through this of the self-limiting beliefs being false, but them being the story we tell ourselves, and then believing, undoing that is so powerful because it really does free us up to limitless possibilities. Ben had one last question, and I'm going to say that we will end on this one because we're almost to time, and we do like to hold to time. Without violating any confidentiality, if you could just kind of generally speak of a successful mind shift a client had and how that impacted both them, but also if it impacted you.
Yeah, that's a good one. One of them recently is I had a client in China, and a lot of young males between the age of 30 to 40 typically move off when they're younger from the US and they try to get a life there. And his blockage was in that he couldn't really accumulate the wealth to move back to the US with his new family. So after a couple of weeks working together, really, he had a lot of confidence issues that we began resolving over time. And one of his obstacles, without making it too long, was that at the time he didn't have enough money. And by only challenging how he sees himself, he sees himself, challenging how he sees the situations, the opportunities that he had, he was able to actually get more. He was able to actually learn. I'm forgetting to do the specific situation. He was able to really get that extra knowledge that he needed to launch his e-com business. And his relationships got better. He started doing more during the day. And now he is very close to living. And really, he has really, from who he was as this shackled, stifled, shy individual, to now as somebody who is confident, is making a couple thousand a month now, is a lot happier. It's truly transformative. And how it's changed me is just inspiring. Working with certain people and really seeing that change in them, it always inspires me. And it further empowers me to see that it can be done. Yeah.
Well, I think that is a perfect thing to end on. It's very beautiful on both sides. And I can say for myself, and I'm sure I speak for many of the coaches, both on the call and who listen, that I get so much out of coaching other people. And it's really beneficial to, I believe, both parties in the relationship. And that's where, yes, there are so many different kinds of coaching, and coaching is becoming more mainstream and more accepted and more popular all the time. And that's where I think that the combination or the pairing of the person with the right coach, it will enable that to happen, where it really is a blessing for both parties, and the coach gets a lot out of it and the client gets a lot out of it. And that is something I've experienced many times. And I hope for anyone listening, whether you're looking for a coach or you are a coach, that you keep that in mind, because having that beautiful relationship really is, it's so much more than the sum of its parts. So I think that was beautifully said. So if anyone has any other comments, we do have a minute or two, and I would just like to say thanks again for your great presentation, and I will get these notes typed up with the links to your programs and all the exercises and questions probably sent out tomorrow evening. We'll have a recording of the audio for everyone, and for Craige, we'll send you the video recording as well. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone for their attention, and our next call will be the first Thursday in February. And I believe I misspoke at the beginning saying we have a call every week. It's the first and third Thursday of each month. So it's 2 calls a month. Thanks, everyone. Again, Craige, do you have anything else to say before we sign off?
I'm just thankful for the opportunity. Everyone here looks pretty curious. I mean, like you said, we're all coaches there. So I'm happy to be a part of people who are growth-minded. There are many people around, but people who actually want to be better and willing to really pursue the mastermind to really put Napoleon Hill. It's really, really special. So I'm thankful for that. I'm glad to be here.
Hi, I'm Shane Borza, a climber, creator, and coach, and I want you to build the skill of health and fitness. My new course is a priceless gift to you, and it's available exclusively on PonoQuest.com. That's PONO Quest.com. Build the Skill is a minimalistic, functional, real-world fitness program which can help you to move better and get stronger faster. I can't wait for you to check it out, and when you do, please let me know how it helps you. That's Build the Skill at PonoQuest.com. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Solve Network. As a reminder, these calls are held live on the first and third Thursday of each month. If you'd like to join us as either a listener or guest expert, please contact me at shaneborza.com. On behalf of my co-founder, Benjamin Goss, we're glad you are a part of the network and hope you are finding solutions. If you need solutions, please reach out.